Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk about just about anything and everything entertainment. I am, of course, your host, Zeke Lamone, and today we're going to do a ranking video of my favorite video game franchise of all time, which is Crash Bandicoot. I am only going to be doing the main console games, um, as those are the ones I mainly played with and I am much more familiar with. I played some of the Game Boy ones. I played Crash Bandicoot 2 Entranced, I believe, and the one where I don't remember the title of it. It probably could have been just Crash Bandicoot. I just remember that as Crash running, and then Cortez is like grabbing him like this, and I think there's a volcano in the background. That's all I really remember. After that, I don't think I played any other ones. Like, I just found out recently that there was a purple edition and an orange edition of Spyro where they like kind of coexist. I was like, I can't believe I missed that. But I'm only doing the 11 main console games. I am not going to be counting the original, the Insane Trilogy and Nitro Fueled, as those are kind of just remakes. Now I know Nitro Fueled, they added a lot more, adding the Nitro Kart tracks and have some their own tracks and all those custom skins and all that. But at the end of the day, it's a remake, and I don't feel like it's really fair to add. I'm only doing the ones that were original concepts, if you will. And Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time. Well, I'm doing this ranking video as, I'm excited to play it. And I can't play it yet, so I'm just going to remorse on my childhood and just rank the 11 based Crash main console games. Crash means a whole lot to me, guys. And I mean a lot to me. One of the, I don't want to say few, because I had a lot of good things going in my childhood, but it's one of the main things that I really remember in my childhood. I remember Crash, I remember the WWE, and I remember watching cowboy games with my dad as a kid. Those are the main three things that I truly remember throughout my childhood. Crash was, always there. I had a bad day from school. I'd come out, when he was frustrating me, I could take my anger out on him a little bit. But, I always had a lot of fun. Always challenged me and all that. And as most of y'all know, I am a big fan of movies. We have the Lemmy versus Limey series, where I just break down movies. Movies is my main passion. And I compare the movie theater going experience to Crash Bandicoot games. When people ask me, so what's the movie theater experience like? Well, they don't ask me. They ask me, why do you love going to the movie so much? I'm just like, well, it's kind of like a Crash Bandicoot game. And they always go, what? Like, hear me out. Like that original trilogy, where you had the warp, in the second and third one, you had the warp room. I always called that the theater. And then when you go into the portal to go into the level, that is the theater. And basically, you're going through the ups and downs of the whole entire level. To me, it's just the movie theater going experience is like a Crash game, and the movie theater place is one of my favorite places to go to. It's probably my favorite place to go to besides my bed. And yeah, I just really love them. So without further ado, let's get to it. I'm pretty sure you're all over this cold open, so let's get at it. At number 11, I have Crash of the Titans. I remember this game got a whole lot of heat when it first came out. I did not get this one at launch, but I did get it later on when I was actually able to afford it, or I should say my dad was able to afford it. And yeah, those new designs. I guess I was one of those kids that was like, change! I don't want it! Crash looked completely different. Coco and Cortex, Crunch, they kind of look similar. Nina, to an extent, I guess, kind of looked similar. Engine, they all look the same besides Crash and Tiny Tiger. Look, the reason why this is at 11, first off, full disclaimer, I enjoy Crash of the Titans. I actually think it's a fun game. I think there's a lot of stuff to do. But to me, it is last place because there is some, I guess out of all 11, there's more stuff that I do not like than I do like. One being the redesigns. Tiny, I mean, when you go back to the original games, Tiny is this like big gladiator. It's a joke. His name's Tiny, but he's huge. And, he roars like an actual tiger, and he's very, very threatening. I mean, if I was to see him in a cage anywhere, I would be scared to death. And then this redesign of him and his voice, I don't know if they were going for a Mike Tyson type thing, because, you know, Mike Tyson has that lisp in his voice, but, you know, he's still very threatening, but it just didn't work. It went a completely different direction. Also, the level building up to him as well. Like, oh yeah, we're going to see Tiny. Like, he's like menacing with all these flames and all this, like just going towards it. And oh man, that's really the main thing that bugs me about. Also, the boss battles, if you even call them that. I am really hesitant to call them boss battles. The only one I really remember is Uka Uka, and I think the last boss is not even Cortex. It's Nina, I believe. That's another thing why this is at 11. I don't really remember it that well. I also remember Crash speaking. That part I didn't mind. It was actually pretty cool to finally hear Crash speak. I mean, going, pancakes! I was like, oh my god, he talks! He doesn't just say, whoa! So yeah, the new designs, very poor boss battles. Music's great, though. Not much creativity in the Titans, either. You know, I think like there was 3 of them where they were kind of the same, where they just kind of threw stuff. I don't even remember their names, but I just know they kind of threw stuff, and like it was just a different kind of thing they threw. Like there wasn't that much difference between the Titans. Like some of them, I remember Roller because of a later game that's on here that I enjoyed a lot more. So yeah, Crash with the Titans is number 11 for those reasons. Number 10 is Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex. Man, this game hurt me a lot as a kid. I wasn't around, you know, when Crash first launched and all that, back in the 90s. My first game that I played was CTR, and that's what got me into Crash, and I became a big fan after I played CTR. Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex was going to be the first game it's the first game I ever pre-ordered. Not only that, because my dad was like, hey, they're making a new Crash game. And I was like, oh my god, they're making a new Crash game? And, you know, we pre-ordered it. I was really looking forward to it. And just a lot of the same stuff from Crash Bandicoot 3. All these different design levels. The water levels are horrible. I still replay Crash 4 quite a bit. Like, I used to have a PS2, and I had Crash Bandicoot 4. Well, that's not 4 anymore. The Wrath of Cortex. I can't say Crash Bandicoot 4 anymore for that one. And I would still replay it, but every time I got to a water level, I'd be like, oh, I'll be so... Especially when you're in that submarine. God, it's just... The mechanics are horrible. You can never see all the obstacles. They were just so inconvenient. Like, they just weren't fun. And that's the main thing, you know. That's what I love about Crash. Like, most of his games are fun. I had fun with Crash of the Titans. I didn't have much fun with Wrath of Cortex, but why is this number 10? It's because the boss battles are much better. Each boss battle, I feel like, was a true challenge of facing the Earth Elemental. I can't not remember their names. I remember Wawa. That's the only one I really remember. You know, you're in that ball. I love the ball levels as well. And, you know, facing Crunch in every single one. The water one, I remember that one being the toughest one. The fire one was kind of easy. The sky one was freaking hard. And that final boss battle with all 4 of them going at you, man, it's a challenge. But it comes down to 10 because of lack of replayability for all the levels. I did not enjoy the water levels because I didn't really want to go for the gyms for those. Even as an adult, I don't want to go for this gym. I don't want to go back and play these levels. I don't even want to go play the extra levels. I don't even remember the extra. All the flying levels are horrible too. But I still enjoy it overall. Sure, it's not as fun as Crash of the Titans, but it's more challenging. And I guess nostalgia also has a factor into it. So that's why Crash Wrath of Cortex is number 10. Number 9 is Crash Mind Over Mutants. Yes, I am putting the second one over the first Crash of the Titans with the new designs. Why? Well, I think I was just used to them by this point. Also, the cutscenes are great. Using a different animation style for every single one. That was... Love it. I don't even have words for it. That's how much I enjoyed those different cutscenes. It was great to see Embryo back. I was in the first game! A lot of great moments there. Also, Engine being great as well. Yes, there's a lot of backtracking, but I didn't really mind it because I love the world. I love the landscapes of all of them. I enjoy the Titans a lot more. They were much more limited, so I didn't feel like I was doing the same thing over and over again. I was like, okay, I'm going to this world, so I know this Titan's here. I'm going to this world, I know this Titan's here, and all that stuff. Or the mutant, I should say. And yeah, I didn't mind the backtracking. I did not. I even enjoyed the boss battles a little more. I liked fighting Coco, and I enjoyed fighting Crunch and Cortex. I think those are the only real three. I mean, I think they also consider the big Titans also bosses, but it's just a bigger Titan. But I think those are the only three real boss battles, and I enjoyed those. I think they're much more challenging than the Crash of the Titans and the Wrath of Cortex to a degree. I just had more fun with this game. That's the main thing. I had a lot more fun with this game. Again, I did not mind the backtracking. I love all the cutscenes. I just enjoyed it. And I was now comfortable with the new designs. I just learned to accept it and just go with the flow and all that. I think the game could have been longer. I mean, let me rephrase that. Take away the backtracking a little bit. Add a couple more levels. I think this game is fantastic, and I don't think this is going to be suffered as the last Crash game until now, when we're finally getting It's About Time. I don't think we wait 12 years if they do a little bit of that, but I still enjoyed Crash Mind Over Mutants a lot more than the other two. Alright, so this is when it starts to get a little fizzy for me, because I know those were my bottom three, then after this I was like, man, this is challenging, because I actually really enjoy all these next few games. So, number 8, I believe? Yep, number 8. Crash Nitro Kart, my second pre-order game ever. I was really looking forward to this game, and this game did not disappoint. Like I said, the first game I ever played was CTR. So, another racing game on the PlayStation 2 with better graphics? What? Alright, I'm all about it. And the adventure mode is fantastic. I love the karts in this. Even on a Crash Team Racing Nitro Field, I don't even do all the other unlockables that I got. I always go with the classic Nitro Kart set with Crash, with the lines and all, those wheels. Love that kart, man. Love that kart. The tracks are also fun. I love the anti-gravity version a lot. Is one of the few reasons why I enjoy Mario Kart 8, because, I mean, they took it from Crash. Let's be honest here. Yeah, I mean, Out of Time. I love Out of Time. I mean, going on that clock and you going around it. Electronic Avenue. No, not Electronic Avenue. Electronic Valley? Is that it? The one with the train. I cannot remember the name off the top of my head. Also, that's not even electronic. The electronic one is the one when you have that big drop, isn't it? I also enjoy that. I enjoy all the tracks. I enjoyed adventure mode. I played both hero and villain. I enjoyed both endings quite a bit. The final track is so challenging. The bosses were also pretty good as well. Now, where does this become number 9? Not much replayability after you play it once. It's just what it is. The time trials aren't as fun as well. I found them pretty easy. The CTR ones are a lot more easier, and I think the Nitro Field ones are also not easier, a lot harder, and I think the Nitro Field ones are also harder than on this one. The mechanics are also a little sloppy after replaying it a little bit, but, you know, PlayStation 2, what are you going to do? But, yeah, I still really love this game. I love Nitro Kart, and I love all these games. Like, Mind Over Mutants, Wrath of Cortex, and Crash of the Titans, I enjoy, I like. All these games going forward, I absolutely love. So yeah, Crash Nitro Kart is number 8. Number 7, Crash Bash, the last PlayStation 1 game. Man, it's a great party game. The adventure mode is hard, though. That's why it falls a little short. I think I beat it once. I probably didn't beat it, but I do remember facing Oxide, though. So, I don't know if I ever beat Oxide. I don't know if I was just so done. Because after I don't have a PlayStation 1 anymore, so I wasn't able to replay it. But I was watching videos. It's like, I remember doing this. I don't remember the ending, though. So, I possibly didn't beat it. Some mini games were just not as fun, though. That's why it falls into number 7. I mean, I still enjoy them. they're just not as fun as the others. Like, I love the one where you're in the cart and you're moving the balls over. I love the free-for-all ones. Those were one of my favorites when you're just running around and you're throwing boxes at people. The second world one was my favorite one with the forward drop. The bosses also aren't as memorable, but they were challenging. After Papu Papu, they were challenging. Papu Papu was so freaking easy, but he was always super easy. Besides CTR, the polar bear I found was difficult. Love the polar bear levels as well when you're riding polar. Love those. The Komodo brothers. Oh my god, the Komodo brothers. I spent so much time with the Komodo brothers. Was there only 4 bosses in there? I don't remember. I'm getting a little fuzzy. I do remember the Komodo brothers. I remember Oxide, and I remember Papu Papu and the polar bear. Those are the only 4 I remember. I don't remember if there was a 5th one, because usually in Crash games there's 5 bosses, but I think there was only 4 in this one. Also, a lot of extra stuff you have to do, the gems and the crystals. I think that could have been something after you beat the whole game where you want to go back and replay. I didn't really enjoy how you actually had to go and do all those things. Yes, it made the game longer, but I think that was a lot of added stuff. I'm talking this as kid Zeke. Now Zeke, I would enjoy playing it. I haven't had a chance to replay it because I don't have a PlayStation 1. But yeah, as a kid, that's really all I can go by for Crash Bash, is that as a kid, I just remember, like, I don't want to get this gem. I don't want to get that crystal. You know, I'm over crystals. I just want to face this boss. I want to get going. I remember, I don't think I beat it. I think I got burnt out. I think I played Oxide and then I died. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I can't do this anymore. So yeah, Crash Bash is number 7. Number 6, Crash Tag Team Racing. Yes, I put Crash Tag Team Racing over Crash Nitro Kart because of the open world aspect of it. I loved how there was some platforming and then there was some racing. The racing was not the best. I loved clashing, even though clashing was pretty easy as long as you were the one who was doing the shooting and firing. I mean, you were basically golden. Although that computer would sometimes be a dick and they would like break away as soon as it gets to the end, but we all did it. So I wasn't that mad at the computer for doing it to me because I would do it to them. But the open world concept, I loved that aspect of it so much. Going out, exploring the whole world, finding crystals, doing the chicken challenges, getting the different skins. Oh, that was another thing about Crash of the Titans I enjoyed, was getting the skins as well. Finding the shortcuts. Just all these different little challenges. And the mini games. Bowling. Loved bowling. The shooting games, they were fun. They were fine. I wish there wasn't as much. I wish there was a little bit more bowling, or they had some other games in there as well. I think that was really the only 2 mini games was like shooting. They had different titles, but it was really just shooting stuff and the bowling. I also love the battle arena. If this was made today, can you imagine playing online in battle arena? Alright, you're driving, I'm shooting, let's go! With 8 people just going at it, switching places and all that. I think that would be a lot of fun. The stun arena, I enjoyed them for what they were. I wish there was a little more. I wish there was a little more obstacles to do. Like if they would have had like a platform at the end, like to hit a loop and then come down. Something like that. I like the space stunt arena a lot more than the Happily Ever After one. I think that's what it is. I think it was a different title. Yeah, Crash Tag Team Racing was just a lot of fun. The racing could have been better, but that's really it. You know, for a game of lack of bosses and all that, but just exploring and all that was great. Pasadena flirting with Crash kind of made me uncomfortable a little bit. It was also really uncomfortable seeing Engine in a tutu. You know, just a little challenges. This game is great to me. I don't know why the game gets so much hate. I truly don't. Although the loading screen, I don't mind it. Doing the farts and the burps while it's loading, didn't mind it. Could have been a quicker loading screen though, but that's about it for me. Alright, number 5, the original Crash Bandicoot game. Yep, the OG is number 5 for me. This game, as a kid, was very challenging for me. This was not my first platforming Crash game either. I think my first one was Crash 2. Yeah, but I think I got a broken copy of Crash 2. I remember getting it like at Blockbuster, because that's where I played Crash Team Racing first, was at Blockbuster. My sister was like, you know, you play this, you like racing games. I was like, okay, and then I played Crash. I was like, oh my god, I want to play more of him. So I Crash 2, and then I had a broken copy because the warp room would open, you know, when you like load in and he's going to the door wouldn't open for me at all. Like I would run around it and it just wouldn't open. Like, this game sucks. And then I got a better copy and then it opened. I was like, this game rules. And as an adult, I enjoyed it a lot more. It's just, to me, it's borderline too difficult sometimes. I mean, Road to Nowhere, the other bridge level, Slippery Climb. Oh my god, Slippery Climb. Man. And I don't feel like it's fair to bring up Stormy Ascent 2 because I was really only in the Insane Trilogy. But Stormy Ascent 2, I'm glad they cut it. Man, and that Cortex battle to me is probably the most challenging Cortex battle. Although Crash Warped is also up there too. That's the thing, like, all those other bosses were like really good. Well, no, that's the other one. We'll get to that later. Like, all the bosses were very challenging as well, besides Papu Papu, of course. Besides Papu Papu. Papu Papu is easy. Everyone else was really difficult. I also didn't like, and again, this was just the unfortunate place of me playing Crash 2 and 3 before I got to Crash 1. I didn't like how you couldn't slide. I didn't like how you couldn't belly flop as well, and you couldn't double jump, and all that. So that's why Crash Bandicoot is number 5. And number 4 is Crash Bandicoot 2: Cortex Strikes Back. Yes, the first platform game that I played. I really enjoyed this as well. The reason why this is ranked a little less than the others is because some of the boss battle, well, one, it's Cortex. Cortex is too easy. I went through this battle and through this whole entire game. Every boss was a challenge to me. Ripperoo took me a couple times as a kid. The Komodo brothers. The Komodo brothers were kind of easy. I think I took it. I think Kid Zeke took care of them pretty easily. Tiny Tiger. That was probably harder to me than Engine. And Engine was not that easy. Engine, and then you get to Cortex, where you just, oh, I lose. Yeah. And also the platform levels, they were just the right amount of hard, and you know, I could do this. I also wasn't a fan of the jet levels. Like, I know that was like the big draw, if you will, but I wasn't a huge fan of them as a kid, and even as an adult now, I wasn't the hugest fan of the space levels. Well, not the space level, but, you know, the jetpack levels. I wasn't a huge fan of those. Maybe that's why I didn't like the Cortex battle that much, but it was also very easy. But yeah, that's really the only complaints I really have was the jet levels and the Cortex boss battle. That's the only reason why it's so low, because I have complaints. As far as the other ones, well, I don't really have that many complaints at all. Yeah, so, moving on. Number 3. Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Yeah, this game is probably the game I played the most out of all the original trilogy, and probably out of all of them, maybe? Maybe. I'm not sure yet. I have to really think about that one, because I played this game quite a bit. I had 3 copies at one point because I kept messing it up. I did not really take care of stuff that well as a kid. And I played this countless times. I mean, countless times. This was the first game I beat at 110%. I think that's what it is. It's 110 or 107 when you get all the gems and you get all the time relics and all that. I enjoyed every aspect of this game. All the bosses are very difficult as well. Until you realize there was a cheat code this whole time that you didn't know about when you faced Tiny Tiger. But whatever. I still enjoyed Tiny's boss battle quite a bit. Dingo Dial, we meet Dingo Dial. Love Dingo Dial. His boss battle is also great. In Trophy, freaking hate in Trophy, but in a good way. His boss battle was also challenging as a kid and even as an adult. I found it somewhat challenging, but it was definitely a lot easier. Engine, much easier than the second one, but it's kind of the same, really, just in space and with Coco. And the Cortex boss battle, a lot better than the second one, but not as hard as the first games. Like, Crash Bandicoot 1, that Cortex boss battle felt like a final boss battle. While in this one, yes, also felt like a final boss battle, but like, once you get over the head of, me as a kid anyway, I'm facing the final boss. Oh, well, it's not that really difficult because, you know, you just gotta move away from the mask and then you spin him. All the level designs are great. I also love how the story progresses with it as well. I think they did in Crash Bandicoot 2 as well, where they like start in the day, but then as it continues, it goes to night. Really enjoyed that aspect of it as well. The bonus levels are also a lot of fun as well. I enjoyed the bonus levels in Crash 3 a lot more than in Crash 2. I wanted to do all these things. As in Crash 2 and 1, I did. Like, I was like, well, it's something, like, I'm not 100% yet. Okay, so this is what I gotta do. In Crash 2, I was like, okay, I'm actually looking forward to getting this gem. I want to do all these other things with it. I didn't mind going back and doing all the water levels. The water levels are actually fun in this one. Doing the Coco levels, and, you know, even though you had to, like, die a lot to get the boxes, it was a fun challenge. It was a challenge I wanted to do, and I felt like I was getting better at. Love Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. It is just not number 1. And number 2 is CTR, the first game that I ever played. That was Crash. Like I said, I went to Blockbuster one day. I couldn't find a game that I really wanted to play, but my sister Marissa was like, here, play this. You like racing games? I was like, yeah, you're right, I guess. And then, you know, I wasn't really looking forward to it. I put that game on. And then, you know, he throws the trophy up. I was hooked from there. The tracks are absolutely spectacular. Every single one of them. I wanted to play this one all the way to 100%. As in, like, Nitro Kart and Tag Team Racing, I just want to do the one race and then, like, be done with it. This one, I want to do the CTR tokens. I wanted to do the crystals. I wanted to get all the time relics. I wanted to be the absolute best, like no one ever was, Pokemon, at CTR. I also love doing the battle levels. Like, I would try to convince my friends to play it. They were more Mario fans. But my family really enjoyed playing this game as well. We would do the cup challenges. We would do the battle royale. I just had a friend over maybe a month ago because, you know, you can't really have that many people over during a pandemic. And we played Crash, and she really enjoyed the battle modes as well. And, you know, just see her really enjoy it just really put a smile on my face. Like, yeah, I have a friend who enjoys playing Crash with me for once. Yeah, I mean, the game just brings a lot of smile to my face. I have absolutely no complaints about it, but it's not my all-time favorite. My all-time favorite is Crash Twin Sanity. A lot of people are like, what? That one's your favorite? That game's so broken. You know it's Rush. You know it has glitches and all that. I don't care. I don't care that there's a lot of glitches. To me, glitches don't matter to me at all. And not really graphics. The main thing, and I've been saying it throughout, is that was the game fun? And it was fun. It is a lot of fun to me. My favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game is Sonic 06, guys. Okay? Now, this discredits my whole entire list, fine, but then again, my list is just an opinion. It's not going to be the same as your list or not. That's how much I don't care for glitches. And I know Sonic 06 has a lot of glitches. It's still my favorite Sonic game. Crash Twin Sanity may have its glitches. I don't really run into them that much. I haven't even had the fake Crash glitch. Like I've seen in some videos where some, like, you know, when Cortex is being chased and then fake Crash just kind of stops and moves around. I never had that glitch when I played it. Even when I replayed it. I never had it. The only glitches I always had was the, when you face the Tiki monster and then afterwards and like you would hit it, he would die and all that. And also when you would restart the level like Madame Embley. Those are minor inconveniences, but I really didn't mind replaying those levels if those happened. I enjoyed pushing Cortex in and doing the Dingle boss battle again after I get done pushing him and making all the room for him and all that. I did. I enjoyed the Academy of Evil. I enjoyed Wumpa Island. I enjoyed the Cold World. I enjoyed the Fifth Dimension. I think that's what it is. I wish they would have completed the game. If any game, to me, deserves a remaster, it is this. Because if they would have completed this game completely, I think a lot of people would be like me, thinking Crash Twin Sandy is the best game of them all. So, with that being said, let's go through the list again. Number 11, Crash of the Titans. The redesigns, and I just don't remember that much about it. And also, the boss battles are piss poor to me. Sorry, kids. Number 10, Crash Bandicoot Throughout the Cortex. It's just a meh copy and paste of Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Water level sucks, but the bosses were challenging, which gives it a plus up just a little bit over Crash of the Titans. Number 9, Crash Mind Over Mutants. I was comfortable with the redesigns at this point, and I enjoyed this game, and I did not mind the backtracking, even though it was inconvenient sometimes. Number 8, Crash Nitro Kart. Not many complaints. Controls were a little janky and all that, and just not much replayability after playing the race once. Number 7, Crash Bash. Fun party game, although to me, who's someone who didn't really have many friends to play Crash party games with besides my own family, I was more focused to the story, and it was a lot of work to do, and it was a little challenging to me, and I don't really remember beating it. Number 6, Crash Tag Team Racing. Loved the platforming more than the racing itself, but that was enough for me to keep it above, and I don't really see that many problems with it in the first place with it. Number 5, the original Crash Bandicoot game, just a little too challenging for me as a kid. As an adult, I don't mind the challenge that much anymore, but also I miss the sliding and the belly flopping. Sorry. Number 4, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. Fun game, but also the first time playing it, having it being broken as a kid, and liking. But yeah. Number 3, Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. Really enjoyed it. Actually really wanted to replay all these things. Boss level wasn't as the final boss battle wasn't as challenging as the others, but I still enjoyed the game. Number 2, Crash Team Racing. First Crash game I ever played. I don't have any complaints to it. It's just not my number 1 Crash Twinsanity because it just brings me so much joy every time I play it. If I ever have free time to play it, I will play this game no matter what. We'll see what Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time lands. I know it's gotten great reviews so far. I'm so excited to play it. I can't wait to get it. I cannot wait to get it. I am so excited to get it. But that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Click the subscribe button if you did. Check out some of the Lemmy and Limeys if you enjoy movies as much as I do. Also, leave me a comment. What's your favorite Crash game? What's your rank of the 11? If you want to include the Nintendo games as well, or the Game Boy games as well, that's fine. Just let me know what y'all think about it. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Lemon Studios 11. And that will be it for me, guys. And I'll see y'all here next time at Lemon Studios.